everybody. Welcome to the 20-minute cooking school. This is Claire Tansey's kitchen. I'm Claire Tansey. Stir fry day. So when I asked a bunch of you what you wanted, like what kind you wanted to, what do you, not exactly that you need help with, but like what do you have questions about? A lot of you said stir fry, and I completely, totally am with you, because there was a while there, a couple of years, where I feel like I had a stir fry every night, and it just gets so boring. So I got what you need to figure out how to kind of freestyle a stir fry, no matter what ingredients you have, and it'll always be delicious, and you can always make it different. So I'm going to do a little spicy sweet cashew chicken, and we're going to talk through all of the tips and tricks that you need, the tips, tricks, and tips for making your life easier, faster, and more deliciouser. Whew, I had to have a nap in the middle of the day because Thomas was up just after 4 and I never got back to sleep. Anywho, I feel a little bit funny. You know, sometimes you wake up from a nap and you're not just a few tweaks short of yourself. Anyway, it's gonna be great because I've got my ginger grater and I have got my stuff ready. So, okay, stir fry, hit me up with your questions. What are your issues? What are your concerns? I know that one of the big questions is, oh, why, Claire, I can't be stir fry. I don't have a wok. I don't have a wok. And there's so many great wok puns, as we know from Walk with Yan, because you can walk and roll, and you can walk this way, and you can walk and talk. I don't know. I used to have a wok, of course, but then, you know, the thing is that if you were in China and you actually had a proper Chinese setup, the stovetop is actually shaped in an almost triangular way so that it fits the wok, so that then you get better surface area to heat exposure. I came up with the word. So, but this is a flat surface. My cooktop is flat. I suspect yours is also quite flat. And so I like to, again, get as much surface area to heat exposure. So I just use my big non-stick frying pan, nice and deep. I swear to God, between this and my cast iron frying pan, they are the hardest working pans in my kitchen. Cast iron frying pan would also be fine, but I find with boneless, skinless chicken breast, which is what I'm using today, I really like to have the non-stick. So if you're going to use your cast iron, absolutely fine, no problem. Tickety-boo, just make sure you use a good solid dose of oil. Okay, so this is going to be cashew chicken. And I'm going to talk you through, this is sort of your classic steps to any stir fry, and I'll talk about substitutions each time. And it is 4:03. We have 17 more minutes left in the 20-minute cooking school. Stir fry base sauce is coming right up, Mr. Tansey. So this is a pound of chicken breast, boneless, skinless. This is stir fries when you want your boneless, skinless, whatever. So this could be, this is chicken breast. It could be chicken thigh, boneless, skinless. It could be beef. So like a flank steak sliced up, or any kind of crummy steak, or any kind of good steak sliced up. That could be tofu. That could be pork tenderloin cut up into cubes. That could be shrimp. I do like shell-on shrimp as opposed to, hola. I like hola. Have a margarita for me, or a beer, or something good. So whatever your protein is, this is about a pound. This, I'm not gonna lie, is gonna serve 2 people in my house, because the third person, the 5-year-old person, will look at this and he'll go, why is there sauce on that chicken? As if I could possibly offend him even more in his life. I will put sauce on his chicken. So you start with about a pound of meat here, or protein, and then I like to give it a drizz of sesame oil. And when I say a drizzle, like a teaspoon or 2, whatever. I really, truly do freestyle my stir fries. And I'm going to stir this up here. And what's going to happen there is the sesame oil is just going to, first of all, coat the chicken, which is good, and makes it nice and oily, because we know our boneless, skinless doesn't have a lot of fat and tends to stick. And also it just gives a little bit of flavor, and so a little bit of non-stickiness to that. And I do that with, you can do that with beef, with chicken, with tofu. We know we talked about tofu 2 weeks ago, so it's slightly different. You kind of want to fry the tofu separately, but that's a different story. But sesame oil is never a bad idea. So that is the first step. Now that's actually a lie, because the first step I did before you got here, I cut up the vegetables. So I threw some on the floor. You've probably heard this about stir frying, that you have to have everything ready to go before you turn on the pan. It's very good advice because once it gets going, it happens really fast. So the chicken was obviously cut up into small cubes, and I've got here 1 red pepper cut into cubes, a handful of those, you know, those really nice tiny little French beans you can get. They come in a package, like in a 1-pound package. Get these a lot. This is a vegetable that my kid will eat, and that's half of a little small, very small red onion sliced. So that's actually going to be the veggie portion, and that's just sliced and ready. Okay, enough with the throwing of the vegetables. We don't play with our food that much here. So protein's done, veg is done. Now I'm gonna make the sauce. And this is where you sort of have to think ratios. I know, right? Best beans ever. They're already trimmed. They're like, take 2 seconds to blanch. They work in a stir fry. Guys, I love those French beans. This is like a titch, also known as a 1/4 cup of chicken stock. Now, don't tell Michael because I'm using packaged chicken stock, which he thinks is just not allowed. But I like this stuff. This is, can you see that? Better than bouillon. You buy it in the soup aisle, and then it's a paste, but it's actually made with real chicken bones. Like the first ingredient is like chicken carcasses. Ingredients, chicken and its juices. So it actually tastes like chicken, but it has that kind of like Lipton chicken noodle soup yellow color. Anyway, use a 1/4 cup of chicken stock or water or vegetable stock. And then I use a 1/4 cup of dry white wine or vermouth. So we're totaling here a 1/2 cup of liquid. And that 1/2 cup can be truly anything. Just don't use red wine because it'll make your stir fry purple. It's not attractive. I mean, you can dim the lights and put a whole bunch of sesame seeds on top, but purple stir fry, not so down. Okay, so this is gonna be spicy and sweet. So I'm gonna give it a squidge of hoisin sauce. Now, hoisin sauce, it's kind of like, this is a terrible thing to say, but it's kind of like Asian ketchup. That's not really true, but it's a sort of a sweet, salty, gooey sauce, and it's delicious, but you will get sick of the flavor. So don't have this every time. So I do about, I don't know, 2 blubs. That is the technical term. That's about 2 tablespoons, maybe 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons. And stir that in. And it's time for Captain Whisk here. Mr. Whisk! I better turn the pan on. It's 4:07, guys. It's 4:07. Don't worry, we're going to be eating at 20 past. So a little bit of hoisin. If you don't have hoisin or you're trying to mix it up because you're tired of hoisin, how about a tablespoon and a half or 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and then like a teaspoon and a half of honey. So what you're looking for is like salty sweet, sweet salty. Maple syrup and miso, also good. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where you can kind of get freestyling. You can just like shake those hips. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I take that all back and I'm embarrassed. Anyway, so I'm actually going to give it just a little splash of soy sauce as well because I like my stir fry really salty. I am a salt monster. And to make it spicy, I'm going to give it a blast of sriracha. You can use whatever hot sauce you like. Tabasco, sambal, chili garlic sauce. There's those random hot sauces that you get in, your stocking because people know you like hot sauce. So here we go. So I started with that 1/2 cup of liquid, which I used, what did I use? Chicken broth and white vermouth, a blob of hoisin sauce, 2 blobs of hoisin sauce, 1 mini blob of soy sauce, and a blob of sriracha. I'm glad you like all the measurements. Now, here's the secret ingredient. Oh, I got sriracha on my tongue. Cornstarch. Cornstarch. So you gotta put cornstarch in the liquid part so that the sauce actually clings to all the bits of the stir fry. I use a tablespoon of cornstarch to a 1/2 cup of liquid. If you like it really, really clingy, like you're gonna put it in lettuce wraps, then add a little bit more cornstarch. If you like it really, really runny, like you're gonna put it on noodles and it needs to be quite saucy, you can use a little less cornstarch, but about a tablespoon of cornstarch to about a 1/2 cup of liquid. Yes, I will put the recipe up on the site. And the magic of cornstarch, if you've never worked with cornstarch before, it's, here, let me show you this. It'll dissolve in here, but it'll also just sink to the bottom. So you're gonna think, oh my God, it's lumpy. Don't worry. it's lumpy right now, but it's gonna totally dissolve. And that is what is going to provide the thickening agent to the sauce. Okay, so the sauce is ready. The chicken here is doing its thing. The veggies are here doing their thing. Everything is all lined up like I am on a TV show. I'm feeling very fancy. Ooh. And then last but not least, ginger and garlic. I'm actually not gonna do garlic today. Nah, garlic, what the hell? Garlic, everybody loves garlic, right? So, okay, so this is the order in which I recommend getting ready. So you got your vegetables cut up, you got the meat cut up, and it's marinating, then you make your sauce. Now you turn on the pan to high. And I've got to crack the window because I still continue to not have an exhaust hood. So we're gonna just open the window even though it's flipping cold out. All right, I'm coming. Now, if you wanted to have rice with this dinner, start the rice first because rice takes, if you're using my quinoa rice method, rice takes about 15 minutes, and this takes a lot less than that. So, what did I say? A little bit of garlic, okay, and a little bit of ginger. So I'm going to use, cornstarch is a magical thing, am I right? Okay, so I'm going to use my little grater here, and you remember him from such episodes as last week. And remember, I've got my pan on high heat. Stir fries have to be done over high heat. So I'm just going to do a little bit of ginger. And a little bit of garlic as well. Can y'all see that? Hi! Nice to see all y'all. So we're just doing stir fries, easy, freestyle stir fries, a little bit of garlic. Okay, now then. So everything is ready to go. The pan is on. Okay. Go in here. There we go. Okay, pan, nice and hot. So just good old-fashioned canola oil. There's my canola oil, friends. Hey, canola oil. That goes in a decent amount. Then I've got my spoon, and you're probably thinking that the ginger goes in first, but it does not. It's the chicken that goes in first. Yummy! And so chicken is in. That is a special ginger grater, Kelly Jones. We talked about it last week, but it's a ceramic Japanese horseradish grater. And it is delightful. And I think people who take pottery classes also make these, so it's fantastic. I'll link to it in this week's post as well. Now, I'm very hands-off when it comes to the chicken. I don't think it needs to be stirred a ton yet. So it's gonna cook about halfway through. Why is it better than a box grater? Why is this better than a box grater? It's 1,000 times more fun. No hyperbole there. It's just really great, and it turns the ginger into these teeny tiny flecks, and you also get the juice, so it's really quite intense. I really love it. You can use it on garlic too. I love it. All right, here we are. Things are getting quite cooked here, so this is really not going to take very long. Now then, let's add the onion. Yes. And stir. Uh-oh, green beans got in there. No problem. Okay. Good, that's nice. Then I'm going to add the green beans and the red peppers. Stir. High heat, my friends. High heat. Oh, yeah. And you can see, like, the chicken, because I had all that nice sesame oil, has that beautiful teeny tiny bit of golden, you can't see that, can you? No. I'm sorry, the lighting's not very good in here. I've got somebody on that. I've asked somebody for some advice on how to get better lighting in here so y'all can see me a little bit better. So this is coming together. Also, stir fry, great colors. It's all about good colors. Okay, so this is happening, and all I'm really waiting for here is I want the green beans to get like tender crisp. I want the red pepper to get tender crisp. And obviously I want the chicken to cook through. And you're wondering, why hasn't she added the ginger and the garlic yet? What about ginger and garlic? They're so good. Yes, they are good, but they also burn. So they're gonna go in closer to the end. That's all looking very good. And just while that does this, can I show you this crazy thing? I write for the star, and then every now and then I'm in the star. Hi! This is today's star. I brushed my hair, people. That's what I can tell you. Brush your hair before getting your picture taken. Now, all right, so I would say this chicken is like 2/3 cooked. That's good. Let's take a wee look, shall we? Yeah! So, you can see why I'm using my biggest pan here as well, because this is pretty full, as it is. Okay. Now I'm going to add the ginger and all of its little bits. And the garlic. Okay, good. So you can see why you have to have everything ready, because you do not have a minute to chop an onion at this point, or to make the sauce, or to go and find the hoisin at the back of the pantry. Like, that's why you have to have everything ready. But it's okay, because at this point you can be like, everybody sit down, it's time for dinner, somebody set the table. Maybe that doesn't happen in your house. Well, we're going through that phase with Thomas. Okay, so this is looking very good. The chicken is looking quite cooked. So let me show you how nice this is. Lovely. Now remember my sauce? So the sauce, which was chicken broth, white vermouth, hoisin, soy sauce, and the magical ingredient, cornstarch. You have to whisk it before you, at this moment, like at the last minute, because the cornstarch will all settle on the bottom. This is a pretty intensely flavored sauce, and it only gets in at the end, because once the cornstarch boils, then the sauce is done. Okay, so check it. Still on crazy high heat here. Woo! This is good. The chicken is cooked. The veggies are getting soft. And then, boom. All at once. And then look what's going to happen. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, the smell of the wine. And you see how the sauce just thickens up? That is the magic of the cornstarch. Guys, it is 4:18. And all we have to do now is open up a can of cashews. Sprinkle those on. Dinner's ready. I love a stir fry! I love a stir fry. So remember, you can be as flexible as you want. You can use whatever protein you want. Like I said, shrimp, pork tenderloin, sliced beef, chicken, boneless chickenless breast, boneless chickenless thighs. Tofu is great. Even like all those weird veggie proteins are great. And then mix up your sauce. So, you know, don't use a hoisin, use a mixture of soy and honey. Get some spicy in there if you like it. The vegetables can be kind of whatever you want. I like to choose ones that cook at roughly the same time. So I wouldn't use like spinach and mushrooms, or if I did, I would put the mushrooms in quite a bit earlier. I tell you, the smell-o-vision, it could be delightful. It would be delightful if we had it. I like the cashews at the end because of the crunch. Tender, crisp, spicy, woo, sweet, salty, delicious. It is 4:19. Thank you so much for joining me in the 20-minute cooking school. This has been so fun. Next week, I think we might take a slight change of direction and make pastry. So we're gonna have pie. Wouldn't that be fun? So I would love to hear what your worries are about pastry or pie. And in the meantime, I hope you all have a delicious stir fry for dinner. Give me your questions. I will post the recipe as soon as I can. Now, my only issue will be not eating all the rest of the cashews. I can't have nuts in the house, people. It's too dangerous. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Claire Tansey signing off. See you next week.